Hello everyone, this is ICO Talk. My name is Olga, and today my guest is Robert Varghese, the President and Chief Operating Officer of INJII. Hello, Robert.
Hello, how are you?
I'm fine, nice to see you.
You too, thank you for having me.
Joining us. So Robert, my first question will be about the project, INJII. Can you tell us a few words about it and what is the main idea behind it?
Sure. So INJII is essentially an online media platform that leverages original content to raise awareness and funding for charitable causes. But really it's more than that. INJII is a movement. It's a network for social good. And what we try and do is give hope and opportunity to everyone through the creation and distribution of media content. And the way we do this, the way we facilitate this is in a fashion that's similar to television broadcasting. We have an open source, time-scheduled, real-time streaming showcase of media that's tied to a live crowdfund for public charities. The easiest way to think about this is as an online charity benefit concert. But instead of just supporting a single cause or just seeing a few artists, this is an opportunity to see countless artists who are contributing to global change through multiple charities. It's an exciting platform, and really the best part of this is that we're integrating blockchain technology. And by doing so, we're creating an ecosystem where users can earn INJII Access coin by donating to causes or by simply engaging with the content on our platform.
Mm-hmm. I see. That's a very, very fascinating idea. Interesting project. And you told about the blockchain technology. Can you please tell in more details, how do you use, what is the role of this blockchain technology in your project?
Sure. There are obviously, the nature of the project is that we're tackling a lot of big problems. How can we allow charities, charitable causes to raise funding and awareness at almost zero cost, if you will? How do we give a platform to emerging artists to connect with their fans and grow their fan base? But more importantly, how do we create something that's interesting for the users themselves? And so, INJII has been around now for 3 years in development and going through the various stages of growth of a company. We had built a beta platform almost a year ago, and really we believed that we had solved many of the things that we were trying to do. But at the end of the day, what we were still kind of grappling with is that, how do we get users to become engaged in all of this? And that's when we really had our aha moment, if you will, of, the way we're going to be able to differentiate ourselves really is by offering the opportunity for the users to earn tokens, INJII coin, INJII Access coin, by simply coming on board, logging on, commenting on what they're seeing, by rating the content that they're seeing. So it's this whole idea of decentralization, democratization, that the users are going to be able to determine what they see, how much of it that they see, what they like, what they don't like, and simply through those actions, they're going to be able to earn coin that they can then use in a number of fashions. They can use it to either make donations to charities, or the coin itself is going to provide you exclusive access to events that we will be holding, which is a big part of what we're doing as part of this crowd sale, and being able to buy exclusive merchandise, all of which is intended to benefit charitable causes. And so it's that integration is the key part. So whether it's a user who's coming onto the platform and just kind of watching things, engaging, they'll be able to earn. Artists who are uploading content will also be able to earn INJII Access coin, along with, and I think this is distinguishing feature about INJII versus other projects that you may have heard about or that are going on is that with a lot of the projects today, they're focused on just their single thing and what they're trying to do. And we believe that, part of our mission is doing something bigger. We really do want to create an ecosystem within the blockchain community. And so we are working with strategic partners who have already gone through an ICO process, who's already part of the blockchain, companies like Civic, like SIA, like AdShares. So we're actually incorporating all these partners, and there's an opportunity for our users not only to earn our coin, but the coin of our partners as well. And I think that's how we're going to be able to really create something that's lasting, not just for us, but for this entire community.
That's nice. That's great. And who is INJII for? For the artist, for the creative people, first of all?
It's. I think the important takeaway is that what makes us different and unique really is our focus on trying to raise funding and awareness for charitable organizations. I think people everywhere want deep down to do good, but I think they're frustrated by a lot of the things that they see. One of the motivations for us to even create this was this idea that there are hundreds of millions of dollars that are raised every year for charitable causes in total. Mm-hmm. But almost 1/3 of that goes towards administrative expenses.
That's right. That's true.
And I think that frustrates and angers a lot of people who want to do good. And so what we're saying is we're creating a platform where every cent that's donated goes directly to the charities. And we have an explicit agreement with the charities saying that, listen, since we are raising this money for you on your behalf at no cost, 100% of the proceeds has to go to whatever the mission is. And I think that's really that's very powerful. And I think that's what's going to connect with users that, that they're able to engage and watch. There's a charity that means something to them that perhaps the artist is sponsoring or that they themselves are able to find on our platform. And just with a click of a button, they can make a very small donation, either a monetary donation or in the form of coin. And all of that will go directly to the charities, and the charities will use that entirely for the cause and their mission. Anyone can come to the platform, sign up, and everyone has the opportunity by watching, commenting, doing various things on the platform. They can have the opportunity to earn, but ultimately the coin itself is intended to be, whether it's to be donated to charities or to attend events where we'll be raising money for charities. And that's the primary focus, I would say. But it's really, so the charities are the primary beneficiaries, and that's what makes us unique from other platforms and avenues where people can post content. Mm-hmm. But for artists themselves too, what we're offering them is the opportunity to earn coin by simply posting your content on our site. We recognize and respect that artists are trying to make a living in this world. And so everything that we're doing on our platform is trying to help them as well. And so as we work with our advertising partners, all of that is intended to, in part, go to the artists as well. So we're trying to create this win-win for everyone, mm-hmm. for the charities, for the artists, and certainly from the user who's just coming to see something new and interesting and hopefully make a change in the world.
That's good. That's nice. So any artist can come to the INJII? And,
Absolutely. Absolutely. So when an artist comes to our platform, they, like any user, will go through this authentication process mm-hmm. of just logging into our site through Civic. And Civic has created this amazing technology that, basically what we're trying to do is create a platform where all the users are real, the artists are real. So we're trying to weed out a lot of the problems that have kind of come in into the world and into the web. And so once the authentication process, the artist is able to upload their content. And what's different is that they can actually schedule the exact time that they want that content to air. Because if you think about, right now there are so many different sites that people can post a video, post whatever they want, but it gets lost in the shuffle. Like you almost have to go out and actively search and try to find, and it's hard for someone to break out. Here, what the artist has the opportunity to do is schedule an exact time, and that's the only time their content will air. And, we will help advertise that. So everyone is kind of tuning in at the same time to watch that. It's equivalent to watching, a FIFA or UEFA, football match. It's happening real time. Everyone is tuning in at that exact moment to watch it and have this shared experience. And that's what we're trying to achieve. And so that's kind of the unique feature for the artist. And the only requirement that we have of any artist or anyone who's posting content is that you have to pick a charity that you want to support. So while your content is airing, at the bottom of the screen will be the information regarding the charity that they're supporting while their content is airing. And so you, as the user who's watching all this, if you like what you see and you can always get more information, we make all of this seamless on the site. You can just click a button and make a small donation. You can either donate the coin that you may have, or through some fiat currency, you can make a donation directly to the charity. And we make all of that seamless to the user. And that's how we're trying to kind of make a difference.
That's a beautiful idea, I think.
Thank you.
And can you tell a little about about the history? How did it start, all this project?
Sure. So
what?
Yeah. INJII was founded almost 3 years ago now, and the founder is a man by the name of Justin Paul. I have known Justin his entire life, and he is the quintessential entrepreneur. I mean, even at the age of starting at age 12, he was already kind of coming up with business ideas and running small businesses of his own. And it was about 3 years ago that, as he was watching a benefit concert on television, he was struck by how amazing it was that so many people were tuning in to watch this. And it was for a large charitable organization that this concert was happening. And he kind of thought to himself, well, there's so many other charities that don't have the resources to raise awareness and funding, but that are so deserving. And wouldn't it be great if we can kind of do something for them, but in a way that everyone is watching at the same time? And so that kind of set him down the path of thinking about this. And one of his lifelong passions has always been music as well. And so, he started to think about all the great artists that are out there, not just those who are established, but also who are coming up and trying to make it in the world. And, the idea kind of merged that, well, what if you could use one idea to help the other? And, it was, as I said, he founded this company and this idea early 2014. It was later that year that, he and I had a chance to talk. And honestly, the first time I heard the idea, something just went off that this, it really connected with me. And I knew that I wanted to be a part of it in some way, shape, or form. And so when the opportunity actually came up, I was happy to be an early investor. And that was my role in the company. But quickly thereafter, I realized that I wanted to, there was other things that I could bring to the table, that I could help in other ways, that together that there's more that we can kind of do. So I came on board full-time on the team. And then from there, we've been growing ever since. The company has really grown over the past 3 years. We have like a true startup, we have been in a incubator program with IBM. We have then gone on to an accelerator program, the Gig Tank Accelerator Program that we were in last year. And so we've actually gone through the phases of a traditional startup. But I think what makes us different is that our embracing and inclusion of blockchain technology in what we're trying to do. And that wasn't something that just happened overnight. We have been thinking about using the notion of a token or a coin for probably about a year and a half. Initially, it was in one aspect of our business, but we quickly realized that as we're trying to solve the various problems that we're trying to solve, that the notion of a coin or a token makes perfect sense. And it's one that this is how we're really going to be able to engage with people and create a way that charities can earn money at no cost. Because even before, when we were thinking about ways people can donate, there was always some provider in the middle who was, charging for the transaction, if you will. Yeah. And even though that was only 3 or 4%, to us, that was still too much. And so our goal was always how can we get that to zero? And it's with the idea of blockchain, with coin, with tokens, that's how it all started to kind of gel. And that kind of brings us here to this moment. So it's a very exciting time.
And how do you choose the charity organizations? There are a lot of charity organizations, right?
That is correct. There are hundreds, if not thousands. Our only requirement is that a charity or a charitable organization has to be a registered 501c3. Here in the United States, that's the designation, and that's how people. That's how we know that a charity is a legitimate organization. Mm-hmm. So here in the United States, that's what it has to be. Around the world, what we're thinking about is one of the ways that we are going to incorporate, again, coin, blockchain, is by, it's this decentralized nature of things, but also this democratization of things. So we're actually going to, for organizations around the world, we're going to have the users authenticate that this is a legitimate charity. And that in and of itself is going to give people an opportunity to earn coin as well. But so long as it's a legitimate, established charity, you will be allowed on our platform, and people can then donate and hopefully kind of continue to bring awareness to the cause. So right now, we actually have a database of about 5,000. It's a big number, but those are charities of all sizes. And that's primarily the United States, but there's a few from around the world that we already have and that we've vetted. That's in our database. But again, there are causes every day that kind of come up, and that's the beauty of what we're trying to do, that, if there is a cause or a mission, if the users are able to if the people are able to say that this is legitimate, then it'll be on our platform, and it's something that you can contribute to.
Mm-hmm. So your goal is to work all around the world with artists from all over the world, for charities from all over the world too, right? Absolutely.
INJII is global in nature. So just like you said, the artists that we hope to attract, and again, whether that's musicians, filmmakers, whatever constitutes art or entertainment, from around the world, any part of the globe, helping causes really anywhere around the world. And so we also hope to host these events around the world. Initially we'll be starting in select cities, but again, over time, we're going to be hosting more and more events of different types. We're in talks of possible partnerships with various types of organizations. So again, what we want to be able to provide for the user is unique experiences that they're not going to get anywhere else. And so that's also kind of the exciting part, and the next phase of all this is kind of coming up with this. Already we have some things in mind of what we're going to do in terms of concerts and events, but over time, the one thing we can promise is that we're going to bring to you some very unique experiences that you're not going to be able to see or get anywhere else. And ultimately, hopefully that's beneficial to you, to the artist, the entertainer, and most importantly to the charities that it'll benefit. So.
And have you hosted some events yet?
We have. So over
concerts, musical concerts.
We posted. So for the past year, when we were in our accelerator program, and soon after, once we created a kind of a beta platform, what we did, we hosted actually a number of recording sessions, intimate kind of recording sessions for a number of artists where we were able to acquire a lot of content. We hosted smaller concert events that gave an opportunity for the community to kind of come out and see a live broadcast that was taking place. So yes, we have hosted smaller events, and part of what we're doing now is thinking about bigger scale, and that's what we're going to be bringing. So the range of events that we're going to be doing as for charitable organizations and to raise money for charities is going to be anything on the small scale where it's an intimate setting where it could only be a few hundred people, to much larger events where we're talking about tens of thousands. So big stadium events, small concert venues, perhaps it's even something more intimate than that. But we're going to be doing things across the spectrum. And again, something that's different. And it's also going to be something that users themselves are going to be able to vote on. Because in any location, there may be certain artists that they're more interested in kind of seeing that either appear on our platform or otherwise. So we're going to give users all types of opportunities to say, who would you like to see? And then we're going to try to arrange for that and create a unique experience around that.
Mm-hmm. And I'm sorry, what is this unique experience? Let's imagine I'm the user. I'm on ENG. What a kind of experience? What is the uniqueness of this experience?
Well, I think part of it is that it's we may, so it could be gaining access to a concert that you may not otherwise be able to get to. Or to see an artist that you may not otherwise be able to see live. It could be seeing a set of artists in a different type of setting, So I'm going to use a bit of an exaggerated example, but let's say that there was a major artist out there, Taylor Swift, to use, okay, just as an example. Yeah. So if someone like Taylor Swift, obviously, she's very well known, has concerts all around the world, mm-hmm. big concerts, people are in attendance. But what if there was an opportunity where you can see an artist like her in a much smaller setting? That doesn't happen very often. Mm-hmm. To be able to kind of sponsor that, and the only way to attend something like that is by having INJII Access Coin. And so mm-hmm. we're going to try to create either well-known artists in a different type of setting, mm-hmm. Or perhaps it's getting to see artists that you would have otherwise not been able to see, or something along those fashions. Perhaps it's a film premiere that not many people kind of know about, and so the exclusivity that I speak of is in terms of how being able to attend these events. It's not going to be made to the general public per se. So it's along these lines that we're going to try and do things.
Mm-hmm. And talking about the ICO, that will be in November 20th, right?
Yes. So our public crowd sale. Yeah, our public crowd sale is set for Monday, November 20th. And it is going to run for 4 weeks until December 15th, I believe. It's Friday, December 15th. So 4 full weeks. And so we are working with one of our partners in this, who will be running the coin offering is DLT Labs. They are based out of Toronto. They are actually the founder of the firm is a thought leader in this space, and we're honored to be working with him. A man by the name of Neeraj, and so DLT Labs, we have partnered with them. They will be running the ICO, and the details, further details of all of that, as far as the exact pricing, will be released in the days leading up to that, and people can also find it on our site, coin.inji.com.
And Robert, can you tell me what is the particular sum that you're going to raise during the ICO?
We are targeting a hard cap of approximately 60 million is what our target is. We think, we're conscious of everything that's kind of going on in this space right now, and it's been a crazy time over the last year, and so. We truly believe that we have something that is unique, that's different, that's established, quite frankly. We've put a lot of thought into how we've built this company and what our mission is. And so with all of that in mind, we also try to think about a raise that was reasonable. And it's not, the intent isn't for a small project for a point in time, but really the intent is that this is funding that we're looking to help us do these things and continue to work with these charities and get bigger over the course of the next 3 to 5 years. So, and that would be the important thing, and I think a distinguishing characteristic that I hope people understand that. And then in our white paper, that is, again, also available on our site, we go into much more detail about what the monies are being raised, how much is being raised, how it's being raised, how it's being deployed, and what the schedule of that is going to be over the course of the next, as I said, immediately and then over the next 3 to 5 years.
Mm-hmm. And let's look a little in the negative side. What can be the obstacle for the success of the project, if there is one?
I think like anything else, there are, this represents not just kind of evolution, but a revolutionary change, right? I think the whole notion of blockchain decentralization is challenging to a lot of people around the world. Mm-hmm. Hence why you've kind of seen some of the actions taken by nations and others when it comes to things of just the raise. But really, I think, some of what's been done is good from the perspective of the buyer or someone who's participating in this, because at the end of the day, I think everyone needs to be careful about what they're investing in, right? And so from that perspective, I think it's important that everyone does their homework. And we have always tried from day one, we wanted to be completely transparent in everything that we're doing. We have kind of laid out, even in our white paper, what the risk factors are, not just from an ICO perspective, but just even more broadly as we're trying to host these events and the things that we try to do and the risks that come about. And so truly, we invite and we encourage anyone who's kind of listening or who's kind of intrigued by this idea to take a deep look into what we're doing, ask questions. We are all, every member of the team, all of our advisors are available to answer questions as we move forward. And so I think once they do that, I think they'll realize that we really are trying to do something bigger than most. And the approach that we're taking of trying to create this ecosystem, bringing in these partners, encouraging them, supporting them, helping them to grow as well, is what's really going to be sustainable. And I think that's one of the key takeaways. As far as challenges, like any business, I think, we are certainly, I think at the end of the day, that'll come down to execution. I think there's going to be a lot of events that we're going to be able to host and run successfully, but there's going to be any number of factors that could come into play where one of these things may not go well. And there's, the possibility of negative press that's associated with that. But I think in terms of our fundamental mission, I think it does resonate with a lot of people. The notion that we are trying to come up with a better way for charitable organizations to do what they do, to enable them. And for them, this really represents a new way from a fundraising perspective of doing things. So for them, in truth, they may at first be a little hesitant or reluctant, not knowing how to embrace this, how does this all work? But I think quickly enough, they're going to come to realize that this makes sense, and this is something that could be very good for them. And we're helping in that process to educate them right now. So,
Robert, and please, a few words about the team of the project. Sure.
So I've already made mention of Justin Paul, who's kind of the founder. He's really, truly a technocrat. Just has this amazing ability to learn technologies and has always very well versed in all of this and true visionary. My role, I've been a professional investor for the better part of 20 years, and kind of coming in and bringing some experience from that perspective. Our chief technical officer is a man by the name of David Castaneda, who Justin and I have known now for about 2 years, very well versed and has depth of experience in his field. We have a blockchain engineer by the name of David Menard out of California, who has helped us in a lot of things with from token creation to kind of thinking through many of the technical problems and how to solve some issues. Our chief marketing officer, Swan Burris, comes to us from Ogilvy Worldwide, so one of the largest
I'm sorry, for what?
Firms.
From what country?
From Ogilvy Worldwide. So it's one of the largest marketing organizations, advertising organizations in the world. He's our chief marketing officer. And of course, Robert Varghese, who's also he has been a long time investor and has really become an expert in this area of blockchain and coin offerings. And we have a host of advisors on our team as well. Most notably is a man by the name of Cordell Carter. He was actually chief of staff for the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, as well as the Eisenhower Institute and the Aspen Institute. And so he is someone who, both as a CEO, as someone who is very well known in the charity world, brings a wealth of knowledge and experience and advice in terms of how we can position ourselves to help these organizations and what their needs are and what we can do to meet them. So we have, in total, there's 11 people on the team. And as I said, I think everyone brings depth of experience in their respective areas, and collectively, I think it's a pretty powerful group that we have put together. Of course, I'm biased, but nevertheless.
Thank you, Robert. And just to sum up in few sentences, why shall I invest in INJII?
This is your opportunity to be a part of something bigger and do something that's really different. As a investor out there, there are tens of hundreds of ICOs that are being marketed and brought to offer each and every day. But again, once you take a look at what it is that we're trying to do, There's no one out there who's doing what we're trying to do to solve the very real problems that we're trying to solve. And so this is an opportunity. I think it's something that resonates with everyone. The idea of wanting to do good. And,
yes, that's true.
And this is an opportunity to do that in a very easy fashion. And so we hope, I invite everyone to take a look and see what we're trying to do. And anyone who has questions, please let us know.
I remind you that today my guest was Robert Varghese, President and Chief Operating Officer of INJII. Thank you very much, Robert, for your time.
Thank you.
See you in the next video. Goodbye.